Okay, this is the packet that's due Friday, but if you turn it in tomorrow, you're going to get bonus points on your test. So every class I know is different, but we did the first page in class. I'm not going to go over each problem and rework them out. You should have been paying attention, at least hopefully you were. I'm just going to recap real quick on some key parts. Make sure you write your formula. Lateral area is pH, perimeter of the base, times the height. Perimeter of the base was our distance around the base. Our base are the two congruent sides. So when I go around them, that's 2. This distance will be 5 here. If I come back down, that's another 2. And then that's another 5. So that's why we added that up. It got 14. Our height was our distance between, is always our distance between the bases. And the area of the base, our capital B, which is the area of the base, that was a 5 by 2, which is 10. So we just plugged in the information into the formula and got an answer. I know you can do that, and if you were paying attention in class, you got this done already. Then here I asked you to change it to volume of the pyramid is 1/3 base times height. Again, make sure you recognize your base. Our base is this rectangle, a 10 by 12. So that's why we did 10 times 12. And the height is from the center of the base, perpendicular, and up to the vertex, the top of the pyramid. And that was 12. So we just plugged it in. We also talked about writing it 1/3. 120 times 12, or I can say 120 times 12 then divided by 3. So you have that as well. Then on 3, lateral area, surface area, and volume. All right, for the formula for lateral area, it's pi RL. So I know the L is already written up here, but make sure you know how to get to that L, because your L is your slant height. That's our red segment here. To get to that L, I had to use Pythagorean theorem. So we had to do the a squared plus b squared equals c squared using the right triangle that we have in here. And so basically I did 5 squared plus 12 squared equals the L squared, which ended up being the 13 that I had up there earlier. And then for volume, volume of a cone is 1/3 capital B times area of the base times the height. And to do the B, remember our B is a circle. You find the area of a circle, go off to your formula chart, find a circle, and that would be pi r squared. So you are going to have to do that first, and then you multiply your height, and then take 1/3 of that. So we did do those in class. Same with cylinder. The one thing we need to recap that is if it's the segment going all the way through the circle, that is the diameter, especially if it goes through the center. So the radius would be half of that. That's why we wrote 4. And our height was our distance between the two circles, which is 12. So B is the area of the base. Our B is a circle. So to do a circle, that is pi r squared. So that's basically when we did the 4 squared, which was 16 pi, which is what we substitute for B. So 16 pi times 12. And that was our answer in terms of pi. We just keep the pi at the end. Then, depending on what class, we kind of talked about this one as well. Lateral area is perimeter of the base times the height. Again, our bases are the two triangles, the two congruent shapes. Perimeter would be 9 plus 12 plus this hypotenuse side. So again, to get to that side that's missing, this side is our C. That's when we did Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So when we work that out, we would get that missing side is actually 15. So we would change that to 15 when we worked it out. And then we found the perimeter by doing 9 plus 12 plus that 15, which came out to be 36. And we see the height because it's given to us as the distance between our bases, which was 15. So now we're just plugging it in. And then to do our volume, the volume of the prism is the area of the base times the height. Do make sure we understand that the B is a triangle, and to get to the area of a triangle, you have to do base times height divided by 2. And your base and your height of a triangle are the perpendicular sides. So where I see that box, there it is. The perpendicular sides are the 9 and the 12. And so we will be using 9 and 12 as the base and the height, and then divide that by 2. And that would, excuse me, about to sneeze. sorry. That will give us our B. So hopefully you got to your B to be 54 units squared. And then we're plugging in to find our volume. 6 was very much like a test question. We had it on the other review. We have a hexagonal pyramid. The base is a hexagon. Our formula was 1/3 BH. So make sure you remember that to do the area of a hexagon, a regular polygon, that's when you apothem times perimeter divided by 2. Our apothem is from the center to the side. It's perpendicular. So here's our apothem. They already labeled that and gave us the measurement for that. So we know that the apothem is the 9.5. And then P is the perimeter of the base. That's your distance around. But right here, this 11 tells me what the side is. And I have a total of 6 sides. So that's going to be 66. So we're doing 9.5 times the 66, which gave us our B to be 313.5. So our height was also given to us. That was our distance from the center to the vertex. So to get to our volume, we can say, right, 1/3, 313.5 times 10. Get that partial credit right there. Or we know that to take 1/3 of it means we multiply our numbers together and then divide by 3. And we should have got, I believe, 1045. So we go to, that takes care of the front page. I'll do, the next video will be over the next page. Just hit the fast forward to get there. Thanks.